What's up, guys? We just got a Rancho. Came to visit Dan and Jesse at Capital Shave. I hope you guys are ready. Oh no, they're closed. Oh no. Just kidding, guys. They actually stayed late so we could have one-on-one session. They're gonna tag team on me. Not like that, but they're gonna both do a haircut on me, and we're gonna do a little Q&A. I hope you guys are ready.
Decided, you know what, like, I'm gonna switch it up, and I want to make barbering like my career. For 5 years, 4 years, and then before that, I was actually working for USPS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't the mailman, but I was prepping the mail for the mailman.
Oh, okay.
So that way he could walk house to house and just drop off all the mail.
What pushed you to like pursue barbering?
I actually had no idea like what I was gonna do. I knew I wanted to quit, but I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. So I actually already quit. 2 months in, I was like, yeah, I don't know what to do. Amazon Day hit, and then I wanted to buy something. Obviously, it's Amazon Day. So then I ended up buying new clippers. I posted it up on Instagram, and I was like, oh, just got new clippers. You know, like, who wants to come by for a free cut?
That's it.
Like, I wanna try them out. And two of the homies were like, oh, we're down. Like, you can cut us up. Pulled up, cut them up. I still cut them up till today. But it wasn't something that even from then, at that point, like, it wasn't something that was like, oh, okay, I want to do this. I was still trying to figure it out. I was still kind of iffy on, like, the whole thing. And then I went to the DMV because after I got my haircut, I went to the DMV and I was still running errands. I went over to the DMV, and at the DMV over in Fontana, they have a TV that shows ads. So I'm just sitting there waiting for my number to be called, and then on the screen it says, "Become a barber today." I was like, what? No way. So I was like, screw it, like, let me call them. Let me find out, like, what's this about. Called them up, and then they're like, yeah, you can start today. We just need this much money to get you started. And I was like, all right, dope.
What do you think has been your biggest mentor in the barbering industry? Pretty much played a big role.
Who played a big role?
Yeah.
Has to be Dan.
Dan?
100%. That's guy Dan. Mr. Daniel Luhas. I searched up barbershops on Yelp because I was looking for shops that would take an apprentice, and everyone just kept telling me no. Dan was the only one who said, yeah, come by to the shop and we'll chop it up. Chopped it up, and that's when he told me that he didn't have space for an apprentice, but if I wanted to learn how to cut hair, he's willing to teach me. So I was like, all right, cool. So I was learning from him, and I was cutting over in Ontario, and then I'd watch him, shadow him, learn some, take it back to Ontario, and apply it. But what really stuck was the fact that even though I wasn't in his shop, he was always taking me to charity events. He was helping me get involved in charity events and barber events and stuff like that. And that's when I went to my first mow down in 2017 was with Dan. You know, he told me, he was like, hey bro, like, there's this huge barber battle. I'm gonna be there. If you wanna roll, like, let me know, we can do it. Cool. Told him, let's rock it. We did it. We did our thing. First time coming out to Modown, Barbershop in general. Had a blast, and it was just nonstop from there. Every year he does charity events. He does a toy drive. We sponsor a bunch of group homes. Kids come out. We cut all their hair, obviously for free. So it's just like a bunch of stuff that he does, not even for the, like, although he does a lot for the industry, which I admire, it's more so how he gives back to the community is what's like changing for me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it hits different, honestly. Like,
Humbling.
yeah, it's humbling. It just, it doesn't allow you to change up who you are. It's a constant reminder. Dan, everything that Dan takes me to or shows me and stuff like that, it's a humbling reminder of like, remember where you were.
That's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty set in the industry now. And I mean, you know, you're doing your thing. You've been doing your thing for a couple years now, you know. You have a different way of putting yourself on a platform. I mean, you're currently working with Maintain. I know you've worked with different companies as well. You also have your own clothing brand, Junior Playboy.
Yeah.
What tips can you give somebody who's trying to do their thing and trying to be an ambassador for a certain company or even to build their own brand?
As far as joining a brand, the best advice that I can give is being active within the community. Going out, going to all the shows. You don't have to showcase. You don't have to compete. You don't have to have a booth. Just pull up to these shows and shake hands. Shake hands with literally everyone. Another mentor of mine was Mayo, modern day Picasso. And I remember when I first met that guy, he shook my hand. And then we were just chopping it up. And then that's when he told me, best advice that I can give you is when you go out to these events is just shake everyone's hand, because you don't know whose hand you're about to shake. It can bring a new opportunity for you, you know, by shaking someone's hand, like someone random.
Definitely.
So with me willing to shake everyone's hand and Dan willing to take me to all these shows and everything, it was just
took off from there.
It took off from there, and it sparked a whole different thing. And as far as starting your own brand, just don't be scared. Just jump. The people who are gonna rock with you the most are the people who are gonna support you, which are the people in your chair. Those people will rock with you.
Now, on a note on like barbering, you know, what advice can you give somebody who's either thinking about being a barber or barely doing it up? You know, like, what positive advice can you probably give hand down to them?
Best advice that I would give someone who wants to start barbering?
Correct.
Jump. Do it. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate one bit. There's enough people out there to cut. You can be literally next door to another shop and both of you guys are gonna eat. You're gonna find people who are gonna rock with you, and you're gonna unfortunately find other clients who just don't really rock with your style, but that's cool, you know? Eventually you're gonna come across those clients who do rock with your style, and they're gonna rock with you for the longest time.
So you enjoy styling. Who inspired you to start styling? I mean, it's not everybody's first go-to, but it definitely seems like you're a big fan of it.
People, I would say Jeremy. At the time, his name was Germ Blends. Again, he owns Commune Barbershop. He was the one cutting my hair. I have like super difficult hair, and I always ask for like a pompadour. And obviously, in the pompadour, you need shape. Like the shape is everything. When I first like walked into like a little session with him, he was like, "All right, so I'm gonna teach you how to cut hair." And he was like, "But one thing that I really want to work with you on is styling, and that's going to be like a whole nother lesson within itself." And then that's when I was like, what? Like, all right, I guess. And then I just seen what he was talking about. And I was like, dude, like styling is just, it's a whole different art. It's sculpting. You're sculpting hair, and I feel like that's where it's like, it's most fun for me.
And it's definitely played a big role as of recent. In our industry. I just feel like before, you know, it was very like, oh, slick over, chrome over type of thing.
Yeah.
And now you're actually, you know, creating volume, having it, you know, be creative, and now they've got these split combs with big ridges, and it's like, damn.
Big teeth, wide tooth combs. Yeah.
It's crazy. I love it.
Shears.
Mm-hmm.
Shears is something that's big for me. Like, I really admire like anyone who is willing to just kind of rock with shears. Like, that's a big thing for me. Like, I feel like shears in itself is its own like little art.
You've been I mean, you seem like you have a wide range of styles that you cut overall after looking at your profile. You take a lot of classes? You watch a lot of videos?
I was watching a lot of videos at first, but once Dan took me for the first like educational class, that's when it was like game over. Like I was just nonstop educational classes, and that's when I realized like I want to be an educator, because that's like the fun part about it, you know? Like you can cut a CEO, or you can cut a guy on the run. I cut a guy on the run before.
No way.
Yeah, he was on his run. He was running away from cops. He was trying to hide, dude.
Oh, no way.
And he had super long hair. Wanted to cut it all off and like something proper, you know, dapper cut, some traditional. And I was like, so man, like, why are you cutting off your hair? And then he was like, I'm actually on the run.
No.
I wanted the cops not to recognize me. And that's when I was like, all right, dude, I'm not saying anything else. Like, let's just finish this cut and get out of my chair, bro. Like, it's a wrap, dude.
That's funny.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean? Like, that was probably, like, obviously probably, like, pretty scary, but one of the most, like, memorable experiences that I've had.
Fresh, bro. Fresh. Love it.
Just kind of wait for the top.
No, hell yeah.
When me and Dan kind of just
do your thing.
go off.
Yeah, that's cool with me. I love it. Thanks, bro.
Solid?
Hell yeah. No, bro. Love it.
Get all those families together right before Christmas, and our team separates. So they give us a wish list. Mom wants this, dad wants this, kid wants this, kid wants this, kid wants this. You know what I'm saying? Party of 5. So we do our best to give them what we can from our stockpile, and then the money that we raise, we give. Most of the time, we just give the parents like a $100 gift card. So like Vons, Albertsons, Ralph's, or whatever, and that they're not going to get what they want, but they're going to have now a $100 gift card to the grocery store so they can provide dinner for their Christmas dinner for their family. You see what I'm saying?
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So
you've been in the industry for a good time now. It's 7 years. You know, what keeps you motivated still? What keeps you driven?
everyone motivates me. You know, I'm not the one to sit here and talk about haters and stuff like that. I'm too old to be talking like that. But even the person that looks down on me, that motivates me to be better. My team, my squad, they're so talented and so driven, you know, and I can only be a leader, a coach, a mentor, or whatever they look at me as. To me, I look at it like I'm their friend, their coworker, their partner, their business partner. We're all in this together. Barbershop can't maintain off of one individual owner. So keeping that mentality, you know, I try to just be like right there, right next to them as much as I can, and that motivates me because I see their growth, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be left behind. You know, my apprentices are shooting for the stars, and they're reaching their goals. You know, so what's your goal now? You know, you're here. Like, what's your goal? You know, yourself. You know, doing events. You know, one first big barber battle to touch down after COVID. Like, that's motivating to me. Like, the least I can do is support you. You know,
Appreciate that.
And come out and show up and look good and do exactly what I'm supposed to do while I'm there, you know?
Yeah.
When I first started, like I said, I got a late start in the game, and, you know, I think I picked up a pair of clippers when I was like 28, 29 years old, and went and got a part-time gig at a barbershop, and guess who they sent me? All the kids, all the kid walk-ins. You got these seasoned barbers that have been there for a few years and have their clientele. At that time, there was no appointments and stuff like that, so they had long waits waiting for them. But the kids would come in, and that's how I learned how to cut hair, cutting kids. You know, I had to suck it up and do my part. And at the end of the day, I just told myself, I was like, you know what? If that's what it is, then be the best youth barber there is. You know, play your role. Like, you don't be upset for how the game is being played out. You know, so I took it in, I absorbed it, I learned, and now, like, you know, I'm really good at cutting kids' hair. You know, and you know, as a barber, that kids, you know, most of the time, 95% of the time, their hair is very difficult to cut because it's not fully developed yet. Light spots, thin hair, curly hair, you know, just, you know, crying and stuff like that. So kids are pretty much were my worst. Now anything that comes my way, I can deal with on a more professional basis. I like to challenge myself a lot, and I get real stagnant, I guess you can say. Like, I get real bored with, okay, if I'm doing this good, like, I'll probably, and I continue to do a lot of that, I'll probably, like, not be so good after a year of it. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep myself going. I want to keep my talent going. I want to keep my education going. So right now, like, it's more shear work. That's never really been my thing. So now that I'm falling in love with it a lot more, because I feel like, okay, you got the designs down, you got the fading technique down, you got the, you know, the traditional cuts and so on and so forth. So now, like, where are you lacking? Well, I can do better in shear work, and I've really just dove into it. So currently would be a lot more shear work, and because I'm not where I want to be, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Who motivates me when it comes to being on the mic, standing in front of a crowd and hyping people up, would be Louie from Barber Society. You know, I've rocked with her for a long time. She's been there supporting me since day one. And if anyone says that she doesn't motivate you when she picks up that mic and starts speaking, they're lying through their teeth, in my opinion. Freestyle designs, I mean, my guy Razor J, you know, I'm a big fan of him. I'm a huge fan of him. He's an older gentleman in the industry as well. Very, very low key. Doesn't get as much respect as he should. You see what I'm saying? Like, but he's doing what he does, and he does it to like a whole nother level. And it's amazing the work he produces. And these are people that just from day one, you know, Could go on for days, like I said, about different people. The best advice I can give a student or just anyone approaching the industry is to, and this is just life in general, surround yourself with quality people only. If you want to become a shop owner, like, surround yourself around shop owners, surround yourself around businessmen, and manifest your goals and your aspirations into the future, because who you are, or who you kick it with, is technically who you are at the moment. I try to keep it real on a life level. I'm not going to sit here and talk about barber this, barber that. I answer your question on a life level. Like, that's first and foremost. Like I said, I've only been only 7 years to me is not that long. I spent many years in the warehouse working the conveyor belts and stuff like that. I just try to keep it on a life level.
What do you think were the biggest struggles for you to open up your very own first shop?
Every new project is always going to be a struggle, because nothing plays out the same. You may think you have the recipe, and things are always going to come up. But that just, it's part of life. It's growth. Growth doesn't come easy. There was a lot of growing pains, from coming off of having partners at the first location, and then just, walking away from that, going 100% on my own with no staff, very little capital, just the drive and the passion is what definitely took off when it came to that.
For the people that want to open up a shop, like, hey, you know what? Make sure you look at the drywall. Make sure you look at electrical. Like, what are some of the issues you ran into?
Yeah, just that, man. You got to really, if you don't know construction on that level, I'd really recommend partnering up with someone that you might know that does everything, maybe a contractor. Have them do a walkthrough with you and really point certain things out that can definitely be a determining factor, whether if you sign that lease or purchase that piece of property, for the future. It's just really having a game plan. Not to mention, the business part of it. Like I said, that was a big growing pain for me. Went into business banking, went into opening up corporations and business credit, and dealing with the city, dealing with business license, insurance, and a lot of things that, like I said, when you surround yourself with like-minded people, or people that bring quality to the table, you'll start picking up those things, which I really wasn't at the time in my youth years of barbering, and didn't really, didn't catch on to those things because those weren't the people that I was hanging around with.
So at one point in your life, that lesson was taught to you, like, hey, you know what, like, definitely the people I'm hanging around with are playing a big role in my life.
Oh, definitely. And like I said, I didn't, even at a later age, starting my career in barbering, coming out of a warehouse background, it was corporate, 401k, life insurance, health insurance, I didn't know the business side of it. And for a small business, I thought, oh, let's just grind it out like I do in the streets, or grind it out like we do at the barbershops that I'm working at part-time or whatnot. And thought it was easy, But when it really came down to putting my big boy pants on and becoming legit, it was like, oh, wow, maybe I should have surrounded myself with some business people prior to making an investment with my capital, because now I'm spending more than what I really should have been spending in the first place.